Hello guys, welcome to your channel RayofHope, and this is your host Anuj Singh. I'm a cybersecurity consultant working at KPMG India. So today basically I'm gonna show you basically we will be solving the AWS Solution Architect Lab 1. Again, this is only for learning purpose, and you can just take a help out of it that you might learn something how to like I will demonstrate the AWS console, AWS CLI, how to create the bucket using CLI, and how to create the S3 bucket using console, and how to upload the data and so on, right? So we would be covering in detail about this lab, and even if you do not have a subscription, you can understand by looking at this that how exactly the AWS works in the behind, right? And probably it will help you out for sure. So this is what the lab says. We would be exploring and configure AWS Management Console. We would create an Amazon S3 bucket or AWS S3 bucket using AWS Management Console. We would be uploading an object in the Amazon S3 bucket using S3 console. And again, we would be creating an Amazon S3 bucket and uploading an object using AWS CLI. Means both actually. Not only this, I will go through this entire console and its architecture, that how it looks like, what are the we will explore AWS Management Console. We would create resources using console, and we will also explore with Amazon CLI, like how exactly it looks like and how is it different from Kali Linux CLI. Actually this I am using Windows subsystem, right? So it's almost 52%. Let it get completed. So this is what the lab says. Actually I have the subscription, therefore it will automatically configure all of this. So we would directly jump into the lab environment, right? And here we would need to perform two things. We are a user, right? And we have to go through two parts of it. One is management console, one is command line interface. And then using AWS API, application programming interface, have to create an S3 bucket and upload the object. We would not be deleting, updating anything. All we need to do in this lab is to create it, upload it, and manage it, right? So this is all about this. Now it is almost done. Let it get completed. %, 85%. So it's almost done. We are about to complete 100%. Let's wait for a while. Finally, there you go. So let's launch the lab. Now you can see this is how the management console looks like, right? This is how the management console looks like. It is asking me to log in. I don't know why, but let me access this again. Okay, there you go. Now we are on the page that we call it Amazon Management Console. This is how it looks like. And here you have a lot of functionality to say, right? The first important task that we need to perform over here is to make sure that the region it was said it's US based 2, right? So we would be selecting the same location. It is selected by default, right? But we will also need to go into browser, see all the user settings. Okay, so you can see I have already set the default region as a base, right? If you do not, then make sure that your region and like a selected location and default region must be same, right? Save setting. Now, if you want to go back from this like a home page, all you need to do just click on this AWS icon and it will redirect you to the home page. Now, as we have configured the location, we would need to explore the functionality, right? So here, if we go into this, and we have something called all services. If we click on this, we got all the services that Amazon provides you. Let us see that I want to look for S3 bucket. I will scroll it down to S, and here you can see we have a logo star. If I select it, I got it over here, right? So now I can remove or add my favorite item from here just to access it quickly, not like going through manually again and again. So again, I'll go through this, scroll it down. Now I'm at this. If I uncheck this, you can see that has been removed, right? So that is the first thing. Now, once we did it, there is something called recently visited. So suppose if I click on this S3 bucket, it opens a console of S3 bucket, right? Now, this is how the S3 bucket looks like. This is how the S3 bucket looks like. Like here, you can create the bucket, like you can delete the existing bucket, update or any sort of thing. I don't want to do that. So again, I'll get to the home page. Now, here in this page, you will see all the recently visited page. Like I recently visited like S3. If I would have visited EC2 instances or any other features, it would show here. Now, we can also remove this page. Now, if we remove something accidentally from here, then how we can retrieve it? To retrieve this, we would need to click on add pages, okay? And here we have all the module, right? That it gives you shortcut. So just click on this triple dot, scroll it here wherever you want to, and just leave it as it is, and cut. There you go. Now you have, if you want to like AWS help to be at the first place, then just do like this. If you want this welcome to AWS, you want this to a second place, you can do like this, right? Like you can just move through the AWS, right? And like according to your wants or your needs, you can change the presence and you can add it. Now, as if we understand the factor, most of the features which you want to access in AWS, you can access from this box actually, right? Applications, services, or you can get in this favorite. If you click on this unstart, it from here also you can mark it as a unavailable, right? Now you have we come to know how to make a favorite, how to remove the button, how to add it, and so on. Now the next part is to create the S3 bucket. So how to create the S3 bucket? Here we will again I have shown you how manually you can go through, but I have already marked it as a favorite item over here. So I'll click it over here, and as soon as I click it, it will give me the S3 Management Console. Once I we are on the page of S3 Console, here we have something called Create Bucket. So from here we can create the bucket. Let's click on this. Now once we click on Create Bucket, we have something called bucket name. Again, as we are into lab environment, so we would be following their rules and regulations, right? Now, so they have given a name for S3 bucket as well. Basically, okay. So S3 bucket, lab bucket, lab bucket. They have given the name, right? So now I paste it over here, and then I'll just name it like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the lab. Okay, just keep it default as it is. Okay, and see, you not need to go through all the parameters now. We are just solving the lab. There are a lot of things that we can configure according to our needs, right? So at this point of time, all these methods, so we will be covering in our upcoming lab. So now let's just create the bucket. Once we create bucket, it will create, okay, the bucket with the same name already exists. That means a bucket should be unique in the entire region. It should not be duplicate. So how I should be 1996. Let's do this now. Create. Yes. Now I am able to create the bucket. Right? You can see that I have created the bucket. As soon as I create the bucket, now I need to upload the data. Right? Now I need to upload the data. Here they have already given us one image of happy smiling actually. So we have already downloaded it. Let's open this bucket. Once we open this bucket, we have a functionality called upload. Once we click on this, it will again redirect to some other okay, so now we are on the page. Once we click on upload, we have something called add files. Again, we have add files and add folders, both functionality. We can add folders as well, but now we want to add files. That we have already one file called this. Let's go to this happy image, right? So now the file has been uploaded. Let's just upload it. It will take few seconds. Now you can see the file has been uploaded, right? This is how we can create the S3 bucket and upload any sort of data in it. So this is through AWS Management Console, right? Now how we can do the same thing using AWS CLI, right? To do so, we would need to get into EC2 instances actually. Now we have this EC2 functionality. Okay, let's click on this. Once we choose EC2, okay, it will give us a console. Let's wait for it. Okay, now once we click EC2, let's get into EC2 instances. I click over here. Now once I click on EC2 instances, let's let it load. Select the command host. Okay, this is the host. I'm gonna select it. As soon as I select it, you can see I have got some sort of details like public IPs, private IP, public DNS, insurance instances their ID, like there is no IPv6, host name type, and private IP DNS, elastic IP, and so on. Like we have all the details about this host. Okay, now I'm gonna just run the click on connect. As soon as I'm going to click on connect, it will give me the AWS CLI, a CLI which will have all the tools and AWS pre-configured. So all we need to do is to use the AWS command over here. How are we gonna do so? Let's see. Like you can you know that we have created one AWS AWS bucket, right? 1996. Okay, so we would be using those CLI now command just to see how we can access and how we can like see what are the bucket the folder has actually. I mean bucket has actually, right? Okay. So this is how the AWS CLI looks like. Okay. Let it get loaded. Okay. Now if I do this AWS S3, what we are trying to access? S3 and then LS. LS means we will list all the folders and directory that it has and click enter. S3 has 3 buckets. These are the lab resources and this is the one which we have created, right? Now as soon as we got to know that there are 1 bucket that we have created, right? Now let's create another bucket actually. So for this I'm gonna use AWS S3. S3 again, I want to create S3 bucket. How to create it? Using MB command. MB command basically used to create a bucket. Okay. Now again S3 column // I'm gonna name it like lab CLI bucket hyphen 9999 and hit enter. You can see make bucket. So we have created 1 bucket. So again, once I use this command AWS S3 LS, you can see in output we have this bucket. So this is how we can create the bucket using CLI, right? Now as soon as we create the bucket, we need to upload the data. How we can do so? For this we would go get into this. It had already given a command cp. So let's copy this command into the CLI, paste it. Number I'm gonna give 999. What this cp command is doing? This is basically copy. This is okay. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So what it's trying to do? It is copying from this path happyface.jpg and then it is uploading that happyface.jpg image to this bucket. Once we click enter, you can see upload. The data has been uploaded, right? Now I want to see, just a moment, AWS S3 LS S3 column / lab CLI bucket 9999 and hit enter. You can see whatever data we have uploaded, we got the timestamp and so on. So this is all about the first lab of